Hi, Cliff Sewell, Magical Mindset Podcast. Just wanted to give you a bit of a headline is that on the podcast, we're going to have lots of exciting guests, and that's going to be coming to you on a weekly basis, but also on a very regular basis. It's going to be quite a lot of content of just me sat chatting to you, both in the studio, both out and about. Why am I doing that? Because achievement and mindset is consistency. It's every day. I want to just share my everyday thoughts, my ups, my downs, how I've learned, how I still learn, how I'm still moving forward. And I genuinely hope by sharing that content on a daily, weekly basis, you'll see the real Cliff Sewell, not just a guy in a studio with guests, but somebody who's living a life, who's taught himself that magical mindset. And I'm hoping just by those little snippets of bit of information, those individual podcasts, I'll be able to give you that bit of advice, that bit of inspiration, that bit of help for you to go and create your own magical mindset. What I'm going to talk about today is negativity, criticism. Whoa, what are you talking about now, Cliff? Why are you talking about that stuff? You're meant to inspire, you're meant to motivate, you're meant to excite us. Yep. But guess what? Criticism's coming. Negativity's coming. And again, I talk about this all the time. When I do my talks and I speak to audiences and I speak on here, I'm never afraid of talking about negativity and criticism, because negativity and criticism are one of the key things that stop lots of us getting anywhere. Now, there will be people out there, and you will know them. Don't shout it out. You don't look across the room at them. You'll know people in your world, in your workplace, in your family, even in your relationships maybe, who, when you think about it, you'll think, you're always criticizing. You're always finding the negative. But if you then take a moment and do this, just ignore their criticism, ignore their negativity, and just take a moment to think, but what do you do that could have some criticism? And you will find keyboard warriors, negative people, critical people, are the people who sit in the group, and I call them the sideliners. They stand on the sideline of life, football pitch, work, cafe, work, canteen, and sit and criticize everything that's going on. Yet, you never see them in the game. You never see them on the pitch, as I call it. They're never out there doing it. And because when you're out there doing it, when you're out there putting yourself out there, when you're out there, when you have eventually removed all social noise and removed all the nonsense and found something in your heart you are passionate about, found something in your heart that you love, found something in the heart that this is the reason you are here, and you're going to go out and do it. What you have to accept, and I talk about self-talk all the time and negative self-talk. So we'll talk about, and lots of the guests, you'll listen to my guests on the Magical Mindset podcast. They will, if you listen deeply to what they're saying, they'll have been through a process, they'll have had a load of criticism, or they'll have had a load of bad things happening, then they'll grasp, and then they'll move forwards. Yet there are still the outside voices throwing in criticism. There are still those negative folk throwing things at you. It's going to come. Fact. And it was something I had to really deal with when I started doing this, when I started speaking, when I started coaching, when I started going out on platforms saying, I think you should think like this every day. I think I once got a text message from an individual going back many years when I used to put things out on LinkedIn about mindset, not as polished as what we're doing now, but it was the start of my journey into the world I'm in now. And I got a text message from somebody it was in lockdown actually. I got a text message from somebody one afternoon. I was sat at my dining room table working, and it was from a friend, and it was brutal. Now, this friend, I think, had probably been out for a few beers or had a few glasses of wine that day and got themselves into quite a spiral, and they literally attacked me What right have you got to put positive stuff out there? What have you ever achieved in life? You are an absolute failure. I can't believe you're doing it. You're making a fool of yourself. Literally rocked me back in my chair. And I will not deny, I sat there and thought, crumbs, what am I doing? And I remember thinking to myself, God, my kids are going to think I'm a lunatic. They're going to think what? Are they all thinking, what is Dad doing? He's embarrassing himself. And it was a real attack of negativity. But for some reason or another, I thought, no, this is the universe sending me something to test me. This is really testing me. Do I really in my heart believe what I'm doing here? Do I believe what I'm doing? So I'm almost throwing that over to you and go, you might decide I'm going to go and do a completely new job. I'm going to go and find a completely new relationship. I'm going to go and do something completely different that is different from social norms, from what all your friends are doing. We'll talk about relationships and friends another time, because that's a really delicate subject you've got to be really careful of, because I'm really sorry to tell you that if you are going to go through huge transformational positive change, there is a chance there are people around you you're going to have to leave behind. And I'm not saying go and be an arse. I'm not saying send nasty text messages. I'm not saying be rude. But there are going to be a group of people, and they could be family and friends, I'm afraid, who you're going to have to leave behind because they are not serving what you want to becoming. If you are who you are today, those people around you are the people you've put around you, and they accept you as you are today. If you are going to change, guess what? Negativity's coming. Criticism's coming. Criticism is, I don't care how strong you are or how much you meditate or how much you manifest or all those things, early days, it's hard and it can be really personal and it can really hit you. I wrote a book, very proud of this book. It's not going to win a book prize. It's not going to be classed as the best ever self-help book in the world. The point of writing that book is that I wanted to write a book. I wanted to do it. I wanted to share my story, and I wanted to write a book. And we got some comments, and we got some really good comments. And then there are two different things that happened. I got a phone call from somebody who I did not know. And it was the wife of a gentleman who had bought the book. And I didn't know this gentleman either. And she'd found me and she came back to me and she went, I want to say thank you. I said, what for? And she went, I've never read your book. And I remember thinking, I don't know where this conversation is going. She went, I've never read your book, but I'm going to read it because my husband, who was an alcoholic, has read your book. And our household now is completely different than it's been for 20 years. She said, I need to read it because I've no idea what you said. I've no idea how you said it, but we have tried so many ways to get him to change. Nothing worked. For some bizarre reason, your book made a difference. He's a different man. And so I want you to know you have made a difference, not just to him, to me, my children, and all our family. And I thank you for that. That was an amazing moment for me. I don't make a penny out of that. But I tell you what, it's worth more than any great big recruitment fee I've made in the past or whatever. It was a moment that I will cherish forever. I remember where I was. I remember what I was doing, and I remember it stopped me in my tracks. An amazing moment. That's not making me, I'm not trying to make out that I'm super special, because I'm just about to back that with, I then got a comment on Amazon. It's still there. I've left it there. Absolutely taking my book apart. Really, really critical. And it really hurt me. But then two things happened. One, I thought, well, not everybody's going to like my book. And that's it. And that's almost the point of what I'm trying to do. I have to accept, I want to inspire, I want to motivate. Some people don't want to be inspired or motivated. Some people don't want to change. And what they're desperate for is somebody to blame. I put myself out there. I'm on the internet. I'm on YouTube. I'm wherever. So, yeah, Cliff, except it's coming your way. I got over myself. But what was really, really interesting was if I'd have actually sat and read that review more, it then became very apparent. Here's a weird world we live in. It was quite obvious that review was from an individual who worked for me a number of years ago, who's probably never read my book. But let's be honest, let's talk failure here. They were working with me in a business that went wrong. It did go wrong. I led that company, and that was my responsibility. It went wrong. And we let a lot of people down. And I will always stand there up front and go, I accept that responsibility. But what was really interesting for me is that individual also worked for that company. That individual also got paid by me in that company. But they simply refused to acknowledge any responsibility in what went wrong. It was all my fault. What's my point? I will never give in on this. I will never give in on the mission I'm on now, because I believe I will make a difference to some people. And that will be worth everything. Every moment I put into it will be worth it. That, I hope one day when my daughters get older, they will look at this and go, yes. They'll probably never tell me. They'll go, yeah, I'm proud of you, Dad, because you made a difference. And not only did you make a difference, you did something that you loved doing. And that's only one thing I can teach my daughters is society will tell you a load of stuff. Go and be who you authentically want to be and ignore the noise, work hard, be committed, turn up every day, never ever give in. You will fail. You will take criticism. You will take negativity. But never give up on your authentic self of keeping going. Because I truly believe in the universe. Some people will call it God. Some people will call it whatever they want. I have no shame in admitting I believe in the universe. Some people will say it's woo-woo. I'll go, absolutely fine. Leave me with my woo-woo world, because I've now got a podcast. I'm now a speaker. I now love my life. I absolutely love every moment of my life. And I've taken a shitload of criticism and a shitload of negativity, but I refuse to give in. That's it. I think that might have been a little Cliff rant, but it was a passionate rant. And all I want to get across to you is that criticism will come, negativity will come, but if all I can say to you is that go and find somebody like me who will say, keep going, my friend, keep going, because the universe will get you there. Thank you. See you soon. Thank you for listening to the Magical Mindset Podcast. Please subscribe, leave a review, share around your network. I'm Cliff Sewell. See you next time.